The first segment of the Hot 7 Nightly News is brought to you by Flow.
Tonight, the island's health minister has disclosed that financing options are currently being considered ahead of the introduction of universal health care for citizens. A wanted fugitive who escaped police custody twice has been recaptured, and the Met Services warn of a rainy period leading up to Christmas.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Daniela Edwin.
Good evening. It is Thursday, December 22nd, 2022. I am Daniela Edwin. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We are on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and the Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. Not forgetting those of you using the Hot 7 plug and play antenna, thank you for joining us. In the midst of the recent observance of Universal Healthcare Day and the push by the Ministry of Health towards awareness, affordability, and accessibility of healthcare services to all segments of the populace, questions about financing for the program have been raised. The concern was put to St. Lucia's Health Minister Moses Jean-Baptiste during a news conference last week. This comes in light of the obvious expense attached to healthcare globally and concerns about the longevity of the program, given the fact that there has not been much discussion on how the program will be funded.
It will cost the taxpayers of St. Lucia because medical care is very expensive, but we believe it is going to cost us even more if we don't do it in terms of productive lives lost, meaning individuals are getting sick and they can't work for very long periods of time in terms of the productive years lost. I think also the cost has to be connected to the productivity in the country as a whole, and also families losing their loved ones to chronic illnesses and so on. So yes, it is going to cost us.
The minister stated that although projections have been made to determine the cost of some services, studies are currently being conducted. He adds that officials are considering available options and will be making an announcement on their progress early next year.
The financing for universal health care, we are still working on the specific areas, but we will announce to the population what we believe the cost will be. There are some specific studies that have been carried out even as we speak, but we do have some preliminary, we have some idea of what some of the services will cost, but we have not completed the entire costing of all of the services, but that is ongoing. We should be able to tell you this early in 2023.
Police are reporting the recapture of a fugitive who escaped lawful custody twice. Malcolm Joseph was arrested in October this year after attempting to shoplift at a Massey supermarket outlet. At the time, an illegal firearm was found in his possession by police. Joseph was taken into custody but somehow managed to escape. 2 warrants for his arrest were issued. He was later captured 1 month later during a police operation. While in custody waiting to be transported to the Bordelais Correctional Facility, Joseph complained of being ill. Consequently, he was taken to a medical facility where he escaped custody for a second time. Joseph was recaptured in Lac-Wamingo on December 18th and is currently in police custody. In other news, a caution has been issued by officials at the St. Lucia Med Services for St. Lucians to remain vigilant during the holidays. Forecasters predict that weather conditions are expected to be cloudy with scattered showers caused by an Atlantic high-pressure system, which will continue to generate moderate to brisk easterly winds and rough seas around the Eastern Caribbean region during the next 24 hours.
The Christmas Eve trough and the level of physical and psychological damage to those who were affected will be etched in the minds of St. Lucians for a while. It is for this reason that local Met officials have issued a caution to St. Lucians in light of the weather forecast for Christmas week. According to the weather report issued for December 22nd, an Atlantic high-pressure system will continue to generate moderate to brisk easterly winds and rough seas around the eastern Caribbean region during the next 24 hours. Director of Met Services Venantius Descartes reminds citizens that it is not unusual to experience less than ideal weather conditions at this time, especially with the drop in temperatures. Further, he adds, weather systems have also been known to develop outside of the traditional hurricane season, which runs from June to November.
I would like to, caution the public. Whether the forecast was for showers, some being heavy in location, even in a location and you notice that it has been falling, rain has been falling heavily for about over 20 minutes. You want to do something to protect yourself. But for this season, like I said, we have a mixture of showers and Descartes.
Descartes notes that should there be any changes in the weather condition, St. Lucians will be notified by the Met Services through the weather reports. He adds that all is in place for seamless collaboration with the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, in case of an eventuality. The director also notes that while Met officials continue to monitor rain intensity, the results are not always accurate. However, information will be provided ahead of time to allow citizens to take the necessary action.
We have the tools to do it, but sometimes the intensity is not always as accurate as we would like it to be. You understand? But most times, in the places where the showers are occurring, we will be able to tell you after it has occurred what the intensity would be. But although we are able to forecast the intensity, but not to 100% accuracy.
Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldridge Charles.
Still in the first segment of the broadcast, The POV. The POV provides you, our valued viewers and listeners, an opportunity to stand off on trending issues in the news only from your point of view.
What are your plans for the new year?
I have no plans for New Year. Let's just go to work and go home and sleep. Really and truly, I wouldn't want to say that there are set plans. Definitely, I think it's to really stay as healthy as possible, continue engaging communities in the work that I do, and really being positive and hoping as much as possible that the current state of the crime situation in St. Lucia changes a bit. So it's not more what I am doing, what I'm hoping is going to happen for the country.
As for me, I don't make plans, I just allow my life to be dictated by God, and whatever He has in stock for me, that is what it will be. Because actually, there are things that you want to do. You wouldn't just say, well, you don't have plans as such, but at the end of the day, you try to do everything within the scope of God and know that He's in charge and He's the one who will direct all the affairs and so on.
Oh, my plan for the new year is for me to enjoy myself with my grandchildren and my other families.
Well, I'm looking forward for the new year. I hope it brings good luck to me. I hope everything goes all good because for the past year, this whole year has not been good, so I'm just hoping for the new year to be better.
My plans for the new year is to spend time with my friends and my family.
Thank you, sweetheart.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV nightly news. Still to come, a political operative who championed advocacy for the establishment of a sex offenders registry has been laid to rest. And the blood bank unit calls attention to the need for donations. We'll be right back with more details on these stories and more.
The first segment of the Hot 7 Nightly News was brought to you by Flow.